A brand new Supreme Court showdown brewing on Capitol Hill. Confirmation hearings kicking off today for Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. Republicans promising to ask tough questions, but say they won't turn the hearing into a smear campaign like Democrats have.
This will not be a political circus. This will not be the kind of character smear that sadly our Democratic colleagues have gotten very good at.
The most recent Supreme Court nominee was subjected to repeated accusations that were nothing more than unfiltered religious bigotry against her. The nominee before her was accused of serial rape.
No Republican senator is going to unleash on you an attack about your character when the hearing is virtually over. None of us, I hope, have been sitting on information about you as a person for weeks or months.
But some of the mainstream media are already giving the nominee cover before a hearing even starts.
What Josh Hawley is doing, let's be very clear. What Josh Hawley is doing when he tries to do this is he's trying to get her killed. He is trying to get violence done against a Supreme Court nominee.
All right, Greg. You know that guy, don't you?
Yeah, he's been on my show. I think he discovered the more extreme you become, the more you end up on our show.
Well, death threats aside, I guess, because criticizing someone is equivalent to that. The Republicans get an L either way here, right? Because they either fight the fight Democrats have fought, which takes all their ability to stay mad about the Kavanaugh hearing away and all the moral high ground away that they believe they have. But if they just do a regular hearing, this is just a progressive on the Supreme Court.
That's right. And I would say that I would go with that direction. I would just say keep your powder dry because you're replacing an L with an L, right? Yeah. This is a push. And true, she's probably going to be the most progressive person. But the fact is, they lost a liberal. They're going to get a liberal. Yeah. So it's kind of 0-0. So you don't want to lose your mind over something like this. However, you will be reminded in this hearing how different Republicans are. They aren't as vicious and as disgusting in these settings. I mean, when a Democrat runs this, it becomes a witch trial. And in this case, I would like to see the Republicans just a little bit tougher. They don't have to obsess. If they obsess over critical race thinking, you know what's going to happen, critical race training. Theory. They're going to, whatever. Jessica, how dare you?
I say whatever to CRT, too.
But anyway, what's going to happen is the media is going to galvanize that weapon that they have, which is the demonization through racial accusation. So if you bring up CRT, they're going to call you a racist. Speaking of disgusting, I have to apologize for my hygiene. There was no hot water.
I can't tell.
I haven't. No, I'm apologizing to you because I haven't shaved and I stink because I haven't bathed in 2 days.
You're proud of that?
No, I'm disgusted.
Well, to clean things up a little bit, Dana.
Okay.
So I saw a Marsha Blackburn video because I didn't get to see all the coverage today because we're covering a lot of things at once. There's a war going on. And she really went in on her pretty quick and pretty hard about things like parental rights. That was one thing she brought up, the idea of how schools are treated and where the parents' rights are. But when you look at this nominee's background, one of the things that stood out to me, I guess, as an Iraq and Afghanistan war veteran, is that she volunteered to go defend Guantanamo Bay prisoners of war. Now, her brother, I will point out, her brother's an Iraq war veteran, so it's not she's immune to that. But, I mean, how do you think Americans should see that?
Well, I think that I think Americans know that our system is just different than other places, and defendants get to have a public defender, and they get to have representation in court. And the Gitmo detainees were given that, and I mean, some people might say they shouldn't have been, but that is our system. That's our system of justice, and she was participating in the system of justice. And I don't know if she went down there and she's talking to her Gitmo detainee, and she's like, "Oh, hey, did you know anything about this such and such?" I mean, I don't think that they were there as apologists for them necessarily, but trying to get those cases adjudicated. But we'll see what comes out in the hearing. I'd love to hear her explanation. I mean, I'm trying to defend it right now for her. I don't necessarily have to. I would also like to say on the decorum front, I mean, we saw in the Kavanaugh hearings, and I think in some ways the Amy Coney Barrett hearings, there was a race to the bottom, and the Democrats absolutely won it. I mean, they got the gold. And so there's no need for the Republicans to do that because they've all met with her. Apparently, they say that she's quite charming, that she's very wise. But this question about two questions. One, she says she doesn't actually have a judicial philosophy.
They would say
well,
that.
then what is your constitutional philosophy? I mean, that is actually what you're there to do, is to interpret the Constitution. So there'll be that.
Marsha Blackburn hit on that.
And the second, Marsha Blackburn, you're on top of it today with her. And the other thing I would say is there is this question that you'll hear Republicans bring up again and again. We'll see if they can figure out a way to land any of this, which is this question of the dark money groups that they say, money like dark money, that basically ensured that the progressives got Ketanji Brown Jackson rather than Michelle Childs as the nominee.
Well, and she was on Obama's short list before as well. Judge, soft on crime is probably going to be the theme of the hearings.
Yeah, and you know, let me just say this: she's got the votes. Look, she was approved to go to the Circuit Court of Appeals, I think a year ago, a little over a year ago, 2 years ago, and 3 Republicans voted for her. Right now, she only needs all the Democrats to vote for her. So this is an easy win for her. The question is, and Dana made reference to this, a judicial philosophy. That is not telling people how you would vote. It is your interpretation of the Constitution. Is it a living document? And the Democrats for years have gone after conservatives, and they've said that if you have a conservative judicial philosophy, then you're not qualified to be on the court. And so the Democrats have created a precedent to go after this judge, or potential justice. But I think more important is her record on crime, and specifically child porn. And that's something I did a lot of as a prosecutor. Right now, she has to explain why her sentences were lower than the sentencing guidelines. And here's the statute. It is this federal statute that says you've got to give a mandatory minimum of 5 years or a maximum of 20 years. She very often went under the required sentencing guidelines. And they say the reason she did that was because she was looking at possession as opposed to receiving. As far as I'm concerned, there's no difference between the possession of child porn or the receiving of child porn. If you distribute it, if you make it, you're a dirtbag for sure. But explain to me, potential justice, why you went below sentencing guidelines for the dirtbags in our society.
I bet Jessica's got an explanation.
I don't think she does.
Defend child porn, Jessica.
Tell us why she should be a Supreme Court justice.
Well, that's a larger question than just this child porn sentencing guidelines, and Josh Hawley has kind of been beating that drum. He did again today, and there was in the National Review, I saw you just had it out, a piece of conservative outlet saying that these attacks are disingenuous on her, and
it said she had to explain why she went below the guidelines.
Absolutely.
So they're not disingenuous until she makes them disingenuous.
Disingenuous was actually in the title of the piece. She was taking notes on all of Hawley's points as he was talking to her about what cases specifically he wants to know about, and she has, according to everybody on both sides of the aisle, been extremely receptive to both adoring type questions and hard questions from Republicans. We heard Marsha Blackburn bring up CRT. That will definitely feature in the hearings as we go forward. A couple things that I thought were really important about her perspective, and it was highlighted, I believe, by Dick Durbin, talking about that she discusses her jobs in terms of talking about how the people who are affected by her decisions take it. And her experience as a public defender, and she would be the first on the court to have that experience, really frames her perspective in a completely different way than other people we've had on the court. And there's a very handy chart that the Washington Post created about all of the qualities that Supreme Court justices have, you know, where they went to school, debate champions, et cetera. And she's the only one that ticks every single box on that chart.
Listen,
and that makes her pretty special.
It's 6-3. She'll get in. It's 6-3. If it
or
were 5-4,
we could just say that. Yes.
It'd be a little bit
You know, that's a good point. Why don't we just skip this
and
get
talk
to the
about
votes?
your hygiene?
No, because we always know what the vote's going to be. We talked about this every one of these hearings.
All right, we got to go.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.